Blessed day to all my African brothers and sisters from all around the world. Guys, it is a beautiful day in Botswana. Botswanans are celebrating because the 58-year rule of the Botswana Democratic Party has come to an end. Dr. Mokgweetsi Masisi is no longer the president of Botswana. He had his time, he had his chance, he did what he had to do. The people of Botswana said out. You come, the umbrella of democratic change, who are saying they are putting on the new president, the incoming president, Mr. Duma Boko. Mr. Duma Boko comes as highly recommended by the people of Botswana, giving him a significant advantage of all the other political parties in Botswana. I've always advocated for change in Africa, especially these political parties that have been reigning for decades non-stop. They get complacent and they start serving their own personal selfish needs and forget the country, forget the people. And the people of Botswana have taken a stance in the ballot paper and have marked the umbrella of democratic change into power. But I'm going to tell you something as a Pan-Africanist that I believe led to the downfall of Mr. Masisi or Dr. Masisi. Something happened in that party when he took over there in 2018-2019 that caused us to get to this point where he is voted out as the president. Let's talk about the Botswana elections, maybe touch on the Mozambique elections and also there in Namibia and much more.
Welcome to King Said So, Africa's one land, one language, one currency, one army on King Said So. Africans can unite. Your Pan-Africanist podcast. Enjoy.
We were established as a beacon of truth and democracy. We believed it then, and we continue to believe it today. Starting tomorrow, or as in my discussion with the President-elect, at a time convenient to him, we will begin all administrative work to facilitate the transition. And I assure you that I will not take any actions to hinder or slow down this process. I will also hand over all outstanding government matters to the new president, so he may address them after his inauguration. I'll continue to serve your interests and the interests of my beloved Botswana within the parameters of our constitution. I promise to do my part in building a stronger country from within and to work with the new administration to ensure that every Botswana has opportunities at their fingertips. I look forward to attending the inauguration and cheering on my new president, and also to wish the new president my very best in his first term and to guarantee him he will enjoy my full support. I can confirm that I've spoken to President-elect yesterday, twice, and this morning, twice. Most recently, just before this press conference, to congratulate him, wish him well, and to inform him that I'm making a concession speak at a press conference publicly, and so be it. So thank you very much. It's been a good journey, a lovely contest. I enjoyed thoroughly hard. Thank you.
Peace in Pan-Africanism to all my African brothers and sisters from all around the world. Welcome back to King Said So. I'm your host, Kafiso Hlongwane Zinjiva Sono, Mr. Easy, Imali Enengi Nengi, and we're back at it again. Welcome to all my first-time subscribers and viewers. You're going to love this channel. Here we push Pan-Africanism, as you saw in the intro. We believe in one Africa, one president, one Africa, one land, one Africa, one currency, one Africa, one language, one Africa, one army. We strongly advocate for that in this channel. So if you are a person who loves African unity, click the subscribe button. You're not going to be disappointed. Guys, I'm doing these videos for people that don't stay in Botswana. I want to explain exactly how the Botswanan people are feeling and what this win by the umbrella of democratic change, bringing in Mr. Boko as the new president, means to the Botswanan people. I can only make an example about maybe Kenya, maybe Zimbabwe, maybe South Africa, because there are similarities there. Mozambique, not Mozambique, Swaziland and all of those places, they can understand a little bit more what is happening. Guys, Botswana, where do I start? Botswana has achieved its independence, you can call it independence, democracy, self-governance since 1965, okay, when my mother was born. It is a strange thing for the Botswanan people to have been ruled by one party to finally make that change to say enough is enough. You can imagine, as the people of South Africa, we have been ruled by the ANC since 1994 till today. We are still ruled by a president of the ANC. And South Africans tried to change them. They tried to get another party, but the ANC still managed to get into a sneaky situation of a coalition government, and they are still in power. But you can imagine, we are complaining about 1994 to 2024, which is 30 years. They've been ruled by one party since 1966 till today. Now, that is not a bad thing, because when you look at the Botswanan economy, it did not do bad. There wasn't a clear dump or a clear slag where society was unsafe and there was crime. Every country faces crime and unemployment, all of those things, but it was always manageable. You must remember, Botswana has got about 2.5 million people. So Botswana is only, if in South African terms, only bigger than the Northern Cape. All the other provinces in South Africa are bigger in terms of population than Botswana. 2.5 million. Only Northern Cape has got 1.8 million to 2 million people. That's why we said Botswana and Namibia, they're supposed to be one province with the Northern Cape, because the Northern Cape, it's empty. It's the biggest province in South Africa, but it's empty. The same as Namibia, that has been ranked as one of the most emptiest country in the world. So I don't understand how these colonizers did us so dirty, because you must remember, up to 1993, Namibia was in South Africa. It was East South Africa or something like that. So now we shall eat. Was it South Africa or something? Yeah, Eastern South Africa. Namibia was there, if I'm wrong, I'll correct it. So Botswana has got a very low population, so the Botswana Democratic Party ruled there, maintaining their power for many years. They did very good money in my opinion, and they had a fairly balanced country that is very respected. Recently doing well in the athletics, their artists, their comedians and whatever are doing well in South Africa and in the world at large. So Botswana, it's strange for me. Botswana is like a province of South Africa, and I'm not elevating South Africa as a country. I'm just saying, let me rather say Southern Africa, like Botswana, Ethiopia, Botswana, Eswatini, Lesotho, Namibia, those countries. Even I can even go as far as saying Zimbabwe. For me, those southern countries in the tip here, they are one thing. You find the same languages in all the countries. There is no, you find everything there. Namibia, a little bit different case, but they are our people. They were colonized by the Dutch also and stuff like that. So the issue in Botswana started when the outgoing president, Ian Khama, you remember Ian Khama, not the first Ian Khama. The first Ian Khama ruled from 1966 somewhere there until the late 70s to the 80s. That's the first Khama, not that Khama. The Khama that took over from 2008 to 2018 is the one I'm talking about, Ian Khama. he took over the presidency. He gave the presidency to Dr. Masisi and said, listen, this Dr. Masisi comes highly recommended. And then when he left the presidency to Mr. Masisi, Mokgweetsi Masisi, then there was a problem that Mr. Mokgweetsi Masisi started fighting the faction of Mr. Khama in the party, and that's where the problem started. So he swore that he will get rid of Mr. Mokgweetsi Masisi out of power. I'm just giving you guys a background so that you guys can know a little bit what happened in Botswana. Why we got where we got is because of the development of the faction in that party, the Botswana Democratic Party. And this is what he said.
We are human. We make mistakes. I made a big mistake, bigger than most people, because this has affected the whole country. And it's a mistake I regret. I have admitted that publicly in Botswana. I have apologized to the nation for bringing this upon them, and have said that I will do my utmost to ensure that I get them out of office.
But you are happy with the results, that although
I'm happy. I'm delighted, like the vast majority of our citizens are.
What do you think? Where do you think the BDP got it all wrong?
Well, it all went wrong when they put self-interest before national interest. And they became extremely greedy, they became corrupt, they neglected the people, they had no people-centered policies or programs. It was all about themselves. And it's the kind of story we've heard in other places, in a few places on the continent, where when leaders come into power, they just decide that it's a joyride for them, and that they would endeavor to try to benefit as much as they can whilst they're in power. And that's where they went wrong so drastically, because people obviously compared this regime to previous administrations and realized that these ones had gone totally off track, and they were severely punished for that.
So like we saw in the ANC with the departure of Jacob Zuma against Cyril Ramaphosa, you saw the same thing in the Botswana Democratic Party, where the former president is saying, absolutely not. I'm not going to support this man. I'm going to make sure that this man is out. He actually formed his own party. I think it's the Botswana Patriotic Front. He formed his own party to compete with Dr. Masisi, but he knew he was not going to win. He just wanted to take the man out of power. This type of things, when they happen in your political party, be careful. Who am I speaking to? I'm speaking to the ANC. Who am I speaking to? I'm speaking to the EFF. Be careful of this faction breaking out, this in-house fighting of a political party. I see it's also coming up in the MK party. There's some people who are attacking Floyd there. Some people who are even challenging the authority of Jacob Zuma in the MK party. These type of things in the African term is what led to our downfall as the African continent. It's what led to our downfall. So Mr. Khama fought with this man. He fought with this man, and he apologized to the people of Botswana numerous times, saying, sorry people, hey, I gave you the wrong one. Not to say that Dr. Mokgweetsi Masisi's political reign was so bad. I mean, yes, unemployment has risen up to 27%. You can't compare that to South Africa, that is in the 40s going to the 50s, depending on which age group you're talking about. He did a good deal with De Beers. I praised him here on this channel when they finally made that deal with De Beers. The De Beers thing hit home for me because I stay in Kimberley. I stay in the Northern Cape. I've been here since 2000 8 or somewhere there. So got married here. Everything of mine is in Northern Cape. But I'm a Mpumalanga boy from KwaMhlanga, KwaNdebele. That's where I grew up. But I became a man in the Northern Cape. So I understood the story of Kimberley, the story of De Beers mine, a little bit different on an emotional level, to say, why is this town, Northern Cape, not improving? It's because of the deal that the De Beers mining company had with the government of South Africa, exporting raw diamonds, absolutely no responsibility to the social economic development of the city, Northern Cape. If you have seen Northern Cape in the 80s, you come back today, there's nothing new besides what Jacob Zuma did for us in terms of the university. You take the university out of Northern Cape, the ANC government has done nothing. Only Jacob Zuma built the university for this province. And like I said, it's a small province with less than 2 million people in our province. So it was a big achievement. I think Zuma also built the Mpumalanga University also. Zuma did great in his time. So, Mr. Masisi was also, accused the same thing that is happening in the ANC, accused that his family has been getting preference for some tenders and everything. And that made Kama very angry, and that's why he decided he wants to attack him and make sure that, he's been very vocal about the mistake that he did, giving the people of Botswana to Mr. Masisi. For me, it's not that all bad, to be honest with you. But change was necessary in Botswana, and income, the new president, a lawyer, for in case you didn't know, a lecturer in the University of Botswana, and this man, he's been doing good. Let me just play you a clip of him. When he spoke, I was like, why can't South Africa get people like this? I mean, look at this guy. Look at him.
History does not offer us any blueprints. History offers us counsel and examples of how to do things and how perhaps not to do them. So those who think we go to history and we find some system complete, we call it capitalism. We bring it and we apply it. Or we find some system complete, socialism. They are wrong, plain and simple. We have to identify solutions, sometimes brew them here, that work for our context. It is important for us to appreciate this, so that our competition is not about plundering the libraries to find what Karl Marx says in Das Kapital Volume 3, or what Lenin says in What is to be Done. No, we read these because, as the authors themselves said, these are but guides to action, not dogma. So the dogmatic approach of thinking, this is socialism, this is capitalism, and so this one is socialist, this one is capitalist, they are all here. And if you want to label me at any point in ideological terms, I belong to the social innovation movement. I want to create, I want to reimagine. And that Italian philosopher Giambattista Vico says we can reimagine society because we created it. Society is an artifact. We create things and then we become prisoners and we think they can't be changed. We change them. And we can change them any which way, depending on whether it works for us, works for our people. And it need not be the same thing that anybody else is doing. This is the problem that the BDP faces. What they inherited, they can only tinker with at the margins. No, we want solutions that work for our people, for our country. And when we get into this terrain, you realize you must approach it with an open mind. There are no blueprints. We will sit, we will quarrel over things, and we will resolve them. We will strike compromises here and there, and we will proceed. When we realize this is not the right way, we will change course. This is what politics is about. It's not that narrow understanding of it's either reformist or revolutionary. Revolutionary meaning replacing wholesale something with something totally different and complete. Politics is more dynamic, more interesting, more engaging than that. And we need to rescue politics from this caricature that it has been placed in. So this is the platform, folks. And so it means none of us hold the wisdom. All of us must find the wisdom. And when we approach the task of finding that wisdom, that truth, we are all humble seekers after the truth.
Guys, enter Duma Boko. There's two things that Duma Boko did. Listen, like I said, he's a qualified lawyer. He studied law, but he then started lecturing law at the University of Botswana from 1993 to 2003, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so he lectured at the university teaching law there. He is a great man, very knowledgeable, understand what is going on. One thing I love about this man, and what I love about people like him, is people who understand that they cannot sit with the qualities and expertise and type of charisma, type of character that they have in the corner and allow the citizens to suffer because they don't want to be part of politics. The man left everything to form a political party. And then later, after forming a political party, formed the umbrella Democratic Alliance, Democratic parties, so that those people can come together. And I just want to get the name right, so that we don't mess the name around. But anyway, UDM, I think it's UDM, Umbrella of Democratic Parties. Man, I'm not getting, I got too many notes here in front of me. Anyways, so he formed that party and other small parties joined that party to make it a big party. Alliance with the EFF, alliance with the MK, alliance with the Communist Party, alliance with the UDM, alliance with the ATM, alliance with the National Colored Congress, the alliance with the African progressive parties coming together, and they say we're going to take that big elephant out. It's very important to do that if you want to take a party out that has been ruling for many years. That's the only way you can take the ANC out, actually. But if you keep on being small pockets of political parties, you're going to have a problem. The thinking that he has about Marxism, Leninism, studying a different socialism, studying the different political styles and the different types of approach to economic growth and everything. One thing I love about him, he says those things should be pointing us to a right direction, but it does not mean that when you get an approach of capitalism or you get an approach of socialism, it will be correct for your situation. I love that. And that's what I say about Pan-Africanism. I see all the Pan-Africanists. I hear them, but I'm creating a new form of Pan-Africanism that has got more action than talk. Like he says, it does not help we go to the library and we are studying what Marcus Garvey said and whatever. Marcus Garvey at the end of the day was a man full of action. Why now you want to be a man full of knowledge but a little action? So action speaks louder than words. That's something I'm learning from Mr. Boko. I love him so much. And I hope really he's not going to be another captured puppet, because you know how these people are. They speak so nice before they get into power. When they get into power, they get to the realization of how much influence they have as presidents in terms of the tenders, the everything, investors and, strategic partners, stakeholders, and then they change because the money is in front of them. But here we can trust. This is not a political person who grew up in politics and does not know anything. This is a learned person, qualified somebody, a person who stood up, a socialist, who stood up, a social activist, who stood up and did something. I mean, if it was your lecture at varsity, comment on the comment section and tell us how blessed you are to have had this man, becoming the president of Botswana. So that's my take on Botswana. I am going to cover Namibia, because in Namibia I've got brothers that are running there. We've got people of Paseta, Namibia, who are in the presidential race in Namibia. So I will touch on that. They are working very hard there. And also the nonsense that happened in Mozambique, the people are refusing to accept the results there in Mozambique because, you know, the electoral system is forever corrupt in Africa. Hey, we are so lucky in Botswana that the outgoing president, succumbed to defeat and said, listen, I'm not going to make any disturbance in terms of welcoming this man into his new role as the president. We are very blessed. So with everything that has been said, I want to say, let us be a generation of action, like the President Boko is saying. Let us be a generation that comes up with idea, but also implements the ideas. You know, when we started in the Pan-Africanist School of Economics, Technology and Agriculture, it was just an idea. It was on the book. We move it from the book to the internet. We move it from the internet to the website. We move from the website. We move it to the land. We move it from the land to the people's hearts, from the people's heart to the people's mind. But most of all, we move it from all of those places to the people's bank accounts to say, please, ladies and gentlemen, let us be a united Africa that can build something for the next generation, so that we don't get that embarrassment when people ask us, what did you do in your lifetime for the next generation? And we say, we opened a YouTube account, we studied Marxism, we studied things that are fruitful to our self-development, but really have got little to no impact in terms of economical problems that we are facing as Africans. So I thank each and every one of you. Each and every video, I will not get tired to speak about the Pan-Africanist School of Economics, Technology and Agriculture. I will not shy away from the fact that we have land. We are not just talking. We are people of action. We are starting the building project, and we are putting the board there to alert the community there to say, guys, the building project is starting here, and I am so excited to have, people working with me in the background, the founding members, the different type of committees that we have. I'm so blessed to have you guys there. Don't take it lightly. I'm juggling about 14 to 15 WhatsApp groups. So some groups I don't even touch. It's so difficult doing this job, but somebody has to do it. And you have to be that person that says, King, I will support this dream. I may not be able to come to Northern Cape and come and lay the brick physically, but one thing I will do as far as I am is to sow a seed that will give fruit to this beautiful school that you are doing. So thank you to everyone that has been supporting the Pan-Africanist School of Economics, Technology and Agriculture. We're building a city like nobody has ever built in South Africa before. I see Northern Cape, or they see Northern Cape. I see a potential Dubai. I'm telling you, I'm not joking. Until we meet again, don't forget to pray. After you pray, stand up, African child. Do your best so that God can do the rest. Peace in Pan-Africanism. I salute you.